Hi, so I have been gone for a bit and I wanted to give an update and tell you what happened. It's kind of big. If you're in my creativity club, you already know. Um, but I'm going to tell you the story of what happened. And I think I might want to make this into a series because so much has happened and I've learned so much just about life and things. And there's so many things that I just want to like share and tell people. They have nothing to do with art, absolutely nothing. But I figured if I make art while I talk, then it magically becomes an art video. So, yeah, so that's what I would like to do. And the other thing is I need to work on my fine motor skills, which I'll explain later. One other thing that I wanted to tell you is that I use a lot of filler words in my videos and when I talk in general. And right now, which I'll explain it later, but I am not really able to do very detailed editing or like computer work in general. And so I might try to take out some of the filler words if there end up being a bunch of them. But if not, then you're just going to have to either suffer or just not watch the video. Because in my old videos, when I didn't edit them out, I would have people commenting on the videos. I say the word so a lot. I'm just telling you that right now. And I definitely say a lot. Those are probably the most common ones for me. But anyways, the other thing is like if I try to talk without filler words, it just doesn't sound natural. And like my brain is trying, oh, I do say like a lot too, yeah. But my brain is trying to not say the filler words. And my brain can't do that and try to talk at the same time. So that's that explanation. So yeah, if you hate filler words and it drives you nuts, then you're just gonna have to not watch the video. But yeah, so this video, I want to just tell you what happened and tell you the story. And then in other videos, like I have little smaller stories that like teach me a huge lesson just in life. And I want to do those as well. I'm doing watercolors because it's like easy for me. I lost a lot of my fine motor skills, which I'm not worried about. I mean, they'll probably come back, but this just makes me happy because I get to like see the colors touch each other and turn into other colors, and it's very therapeutic. And the crazy thing is like I've always been so bad at watercolors and it always like made me kind of sad, and I've always been bad at abstract art even though I've always loved it and wanted to do it. So I'm like, hey, maybe now I'll actually be able to like create watercolors and create abstract stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to start with the story now, okay? Oh, by the way, and I do also have like a little bit of a cough, and my voice probably sounds different just because I got just a little bit of a like a cough from the hospital, and my boyfriend got it too. His name's Josh. I'll probably end up mentioning him a million times in this video. So anyways, it started on a Thursday. I went to my friend's house and I was helping her with some computer stuff. I got up to leave and I felt kind of dizzy, but you know, I was like, oh, I probably just got up too fast or whatever. And so then I drove home, and then the next day I still felt a little dizzy, but I kind of thought that maybe it was because one, I had been eating eggs and there was like this egg shortage, and I don't usually eat eggs just because I'm lazy. I love eggs, but I'm lazy and, you know, they take effort. But I had started to make scrambled eggs in the morning, and there's an egg shortage, so I thought, well, maybe it's something weird with the eggs. And then the other thing I thought was, well, I've been doing a lot more walking lately, but like since the weather's really bad, I walk inside my house and I go around and around and around the downstairs. So I was like, maybe it's that's making me dizzy. I don't know. So anyways, so I wasn't really too concerned about it. So I went to the mall with my friend to walk around, and so we walked around. Like I was just minor dizzy. Like I could still walk around, and I just kind of had to concentrate a little bit. So then I came home, and you know, I just pretty much was like sitting all day, I think, because I was like on my computer, so whatever. And then that evening, my friend called to ask a question, and I was answering it, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, hold on, I have to throw up. And I ran to the sink in the kitchen and I just barfed. Which, I mean, it isn't anything crazy for me to just have to barf, because for the past like year, once every 2 months, I would just all of a sudden have to barf for no reason. And I told my doctor about it, and she was like, well, try to pay attention to what you eat when this happens. And so, like, I had paid attention to it, and it's funny, I actually had an appointment with her, like the regular physical thing, the next week. Like, I was planning on telling her that I had paid attention to it. It's usually just normal stuff that I eat, like stuff that I know that, you know, is okay. So, yeah, so I barfed, and then, like, I kept throwing up that night, and nothing was coming out. Like, eventually, you know, there was nothing left in me, so nothing was coming out. But my body just kept wanting to throw up, and so it was like so painful. I felt it in my entire body, and it got to the point where then like my body was so weak that I was like laying on the floor barfing into a bowl. And oh, here's my kitty. Wait, let me see if we can see her. Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm gonna throw this though so she goes away. Anyways, oh yeah, so I was like laying on the floor barfing into a bowl, but this was just that night, and it had only been like a few hours. So I felt better, and I thought, okay, well maybe I ate something bad, and you know, it's all better. So I go to sleep, and you know, I was able to go to sleep and like sleep all night, and then I woke up in the morning and I was like, all right, hopefully I'm better. And I like sit up in bed. The room actually started to like not spin all the way, it would like move a little bit, like left to right and left to right, left to right, like it just, you know, repeating. And then I threw up. And so then at that point, Josh was like, all right, we're going to the emergency room. Oh, and it's kind of funny because I was actually bun sitting someone's bunnies. And so I was like, we have to feed the bunnies. Like, we can't just leave them not fed. But luckily, the guy lived like less than a mile from me. So Josh stopped there, ran in the house, threw some food at him, and then we went to the emergency room. Because, I mean, honestly, like, what, you're just going to let the bunnies starve? Like, you know, I mean, it only took a couple of seconds. So then he drove me to the emergency room, and he's like, you know, kind of illegally parked. And so he's like, okay, you have to get out. I'm illegally parked. I got to park. And so I try to get out, and I just like fall on the floor. And then this security guard comes with a wheelchair, and he's like, do I have your consent to pick you up and put you in the wheelchair? And I was like, yes. And so he like picks me up and puts me in the wheelchair, and I'm like barfing and barfing. And then he gives me like this little like bag thing to barf into. He's like, here, this will be easier for you. And I was like, okay. And so I barf into the thing. So then Josh goes to park the car, and the security guard was able to just like wheel me into the hospital, get me checked in and stuff. And so then Josh comes back, and then like I'm still barfing. Oh, and one other thing, my eyes are closed this entire time because if I open my eyes, like everything spins around, and I keep barfing even more. So I'm just like hearing things. Like I'm hearing the security guard say, can I pick you up and put you in the wheelchair? And I'm hearing him like, I'm like feeling him wheel me in and hearing him talk to the person and da 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 da. So then, you know, we get in there and like they give me anti-nausea and anti-dizzy meds, but it doesn't do anything. So then they do a CAT scan, and then, you know, whenever I go to the hospital for something, they always like do the tests and stuff, and then they come back and they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. We'll just give you stuff for your symptoms. So like 100% I was like, that's what she's going to say. Like she's like walking in or whatever. And then she comes in and she's like, okay, there's a mass in your brain. And I was like, what? Like, oh my God, it like blew my mind. I was like, no way. And I was actually, I mean, I was kind of relieved that at least she found something, because it drives me nuts when it's just like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. So yeah, she's like, there's a mass in your brain, blah, 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 blah. And then she said, we're going to give you steroids to reduce the swelling. Because I was just like, are you going to make me stop throwing up? I just want to stop throwing up. And so she's like, we're going to give you steroids to reduce the swelling, and then you'll stop throwing up. And I was like, okay, that's all I care about right now. So they did that, and it was like pretty quickly after, well, I don't even know how long, maybe like less than an hour, that I stopped throwing up and stopped feeling dizzy, and I could open my eyes. I still felt nauseous, but I wasn't going to throw up. Oh, and that was just such a relief. I hate throwing up. I just hate it. And this one was so bad because I felt it in my entire body. So anyways, and then they said, well, we're going to put you in surgery right away. It's either going to be today or tomorrow. So you can't eat. I was like, okay, well, I'm nauseous anyway, so I don't care. So then they transferred me to another hospital to do the surgery. Then I met the surgeon, and he's like, okay, I'm doing your surgery first thing tomorrow. And then I was like, okay. So I was like so excited that this was going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. But I was scared out of my mind because I was like, what if I end up a vegetable? You know, what if I forget about Josh and our life together, like that movie, The Vow? Mainly, I was scared of like my cognitive abilities, which ended up fine. But anyways, so yeah, I was scared out of my mind, but I was like, I'm going to get it over and then it's going to be over. So that'll be good. So the next morning, I prepped for the surgery. I had to rub my body with this like special antiseptic stuff. And by the way, I've never been admitted to the hospital in my life. I've never like been in a hospital overnight or anything. So this was all very much a first for me, everything. The CAT scan, I had to get an MRI, which I've never done, like everything, and then poking me and stuff like that. But anyways, so I was all prepped for surgery and ready to go. And then the surgeon comes in and he's like, we're not going to do the surgery. And I was like, what? And so I was like in tears at that point. And then he's like, well, I've been on call all night and I'm on call today. And, you know, like someone might have an issue and then I have to step out of the surgery and blah, blah, blah. And he just wasn't comfortable doing the surgery. So I was like, okay, so then they actually transferred me to Pittsburgh. I was annoyed at first, but like I ended up being so thankful because the Pittsburgh hospital was really nice. It was like the Hilton of hospitals, and they took such good care of me, and they were like so professional, and it was just amazing. And the surgeon was amazing, and I liked him a lot. So yeah, we went there. Josh was able to take me himself because at that point I was stable with the steroids in me. And at that point I was like eating normal food and stuff too, which was amazing. My sisters came. I have a sister in Florida and a sister in Georgia, and they just dropped everything and flew in, which was amazing. And we stopped by the house so I could see the kitty cats. And then we went to Pittsburgh. Then it was like a few days until then I got the surgery. From the surgery, my vision was messed up and I don't have left peripheral vision. And when I woke up from the surgery, everything on the left was like kind of overlapping and weird and stuff. Oh, and I wanted to tell you also, I should have said this in the beginning, but the reason why I want to share this is because there's someone I know who had brain surgery and she was actually a teenager. So, you know, I heard that she had brain surgery and people are like, oh, she's doing okay. She's getting better. And then it's like, yeah, whatever. She's fine. And then that was it. And like, that's the story they tell. Like she had brain surgery. Now she's fine. The end. And that bugs me because now that I went through it, it was a crazy, crazy experience. And it would have been nice to know that it was going to be crazy. So, I mean, everything's so like surface level. You don't know anything that happened. So when it happened to me, I had no idea that all this stuff was going to happen. And it kind of would have been nice if I would have known. Oh, and you'll see like when I write or draw or something, like my lines are wavy. But anyways, yeah, so that is why I wanted to share this with you. So at this point, I am completely able-bodied, everything's great, and I am like just so happy to be alive and be healthy and be able to walk myself to the bathroom, shower. Showers used to be so annoying to me. They're just like a chore. But now I'm just like, I appreciate every single shower because I couldn't shower for a while after the surgery. And then when I finally got to shower, like it felt so good. So yeah, I appreciate like every little thing now. So anyways, yeah, I'm completely able-bodied. Everything's great. My only problems at this point is my vision with the peripheral stuff and my fine motor skills, which, I mean, honestly, like, it's not that big of a deal because I feel like the more I do it, the better I'll get. I was actually coloring in a coloring book yesterday, and I could tell that I was getting better the more I was doing it. I was, like, staying in the lines better and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about that at all. But working on the computer is really hard for me because anything that I'm focusing on a lot is really hard. It like makes my eyes really tired. Reading makes my eyes really tired. I mean, I still do it, but I can only do it for so long is the thing. So like with the computer stuff, I can do it, but really after like 20 minutes, then, you know, I have to take a break. And I was getting headaches. I had like constant headache for a few days, and then the physical therapist told me that it was probably because my eyes are straining so much trying to make up for the rest of the vision loss. So he told me to rest my eyes periodically, and so I started doing that, and the headaches magically went away. And I was like, that was so cool, because I didn't even think about trying to figure out a reason why. I was just like, oh well, I got brain surgery, that's why. So yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting that at all, like for there to actually be a solution. Another thing is, if I go out to the store or something, it's really, really hard for me. If I go anywhere that I have to like look around me and navigate, so I haven't been leaving the house. I left once because I was so excited to go outside of the house finally. When I finally did, then that was when I realized, I was like, oh wow, this is crazy overwhelming. And so I just had to have Josh like lead me to where we were going. The aisle, like I would be like, I want toothpaste, and then he would like lead me there, and then I would pick out the toothpaste. But then after that I was like, all right, I think I'm just gonna like stay home for a while and only go out if I like absolutely have to. So that's the story. So I had brain surgery. Well, if you're squeamish, turn the video off right now because I'm telling you surgery stuff. So I had brain surgery. They sliced my head. They cut the skin from the top, back, right, and they sliced down like almost to the nape of my neck. They like cut out a circle in my skull, and then they had to like separate the two halves of my brain and go in, because where it was oh wait, here's my brain stem. Let me do that. Okay, so where it was between the two halves of the brain and in the back, and it was the cerebellum, which like I'm not super familiar with this stuff, so I don't know if like the one part with the lines is the cerebellum or if it's like back here or whatever, but I guess it was like somewhere kind of like here maybe, and between the two halves of the brain. So yeah, so they basically they cut, and then they like went in and like separated the two halves of the brain and went in. So I do want to make more videos of this, and if you have any questions for me, then you can definitely ask those questions and stuff. That's pretty much it for this video. There, that's my piece of art. Thanks for watching this video, and oh, and I won't be making tutorials anytime soon because those take a ton of editing. Like I have to add little arrows to things and stuff like that, and there's no way I could do that right now. But yeah, those will come eventually, I'm sure, as I figure out ways to like cope with this, and hopefully, you know, the vision comes back and stuff. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.